Good morning and welcome to the second day of PASC 2023 on stage. Our first guest here is Bronis. Sorry, now I forget your last name. We'll do that again. Good morning and welcome to the second day of PASC 2023 on stage. Our first guest here is Bronis de Supinski, standing in for Andrew Dupning, who have organized 2 mini-symposia on performance portability beyond C++. Tell us a little bit more. What was the greatest thing about the presentations here?
There was a range of topics that were covered. So we had people covering Chapel, Fortran, Julia, OpenMP, a data-centric approach built on Python, ways to use machine learning and polyhedral methods to optimize, and then ways to bring in more mechanisms for abstractions into Fortran. So we really kind of covered a wide range of different approaches to supporting performance portability.
And then you also followed up this with a discussion session, right?
Yes, and the discussion session was quite lively. It really covered a wide range of topics, but started by really focusing on kind of the economic drivers for language design and language adoption in applications.
So I know that one of the things that has been discussed recently in social media and everything is the future of Fortran and how financially viable Fortran is. Is it something that came up?
It was very much a topic of discussion, and we had myself kind of taking the approach of we really need to kind of restrict what features people use in Fortran versus Damien Roussin from Lawrence Berkeley taking the opinion that using the wider range of features is really the way to be able to unlock performance with Fortran applications.
So these are, of course, super important areas, right? With all the new complicated hardware we're getting and all the diversity of programming language from old to new ones. Were there any obvious common themes you saw here, conclusions from all these talks?
The biggest kind of themes and conclusions were that more adoption of abstractions, and particularly abstractions for data layouts and data structures were really going to be the key to driving, making performance attainment more straightforward.
So what's the biggest challenge with that? Do we have to give up the new languages and move to new ones like Julia or something, or is there a middle ground here?
There's always a middle ground, so it'll be, it remains to be seen. There's a lot of new languages. History tells us that some will be adopted and persist, and many others will fall by the wayside.
So, all right. So based on that and your final discussion, were there any obvious conclusions here? Where are you taking this next? Are you going to follow up in any way?
There'll be a special issue in Science that follows up on some of the talks, and likely one of the articles will probably follow up on kind of the concluding discussion session and some of the topics related to the economic drivers.
Cool. So that might be a great issue for me and others to read when we want to move beyond traditional C++. As much as I like C++, performance portability is not necessarily one of the key strengths of the languages. So are you going to come back with new mini-symposia here next year or following up at SC or something?
I'm sure Anshu will be back next year. She's told me this is basically her favorite conference. So.
Awesome. We're so much looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Bronis. And I should also mention that you're the CTO at Lawrence Livermore, right?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you. We'll be back with more mini-symposia presentations.